Anyway, Master Clockwork says Andor shot first. Did he shoot it all? I heard there wasn't much shooting of anything in the last 2 episodes. It was just a lot of standing around and talking.
Oh, well, there was something.
No,
this
there was
episode.
Something happened recently.
Yeah.
There was
really?
actually one.
Recent one.
Tom, you would have liked it, Tom.
I don't want to
But
watch
I'll put it to you this way: Andor kills indiscriminately without actually investigating. Because
That was nasty.
From what I heard, the last 3 episodes or 2 episodes, all it was, can we trust him? Should we trust him?
you're right.
Right. And then something happened in the most recent episode. Actually, something happened. Stuff happened.
It took 3 more episodes for something to happen.
Correct.
Brilliant.
Well, the pattern is that the things ever only happens in the 3rd episode. This
Yes,
I've gotten, even though I haven't not seen a single frame of it, but I have understood that there are 4 storylines of 3 episodes each, and the structure for each of these 4 storylines is that the first one is to set up the story. The second one is to be really slow and boring when you establish whether or not you can trust someone. And then in the third one, that's when cool stuff happens. That's why they had to show 3 episodes at once, because that was the first storyline. And then you had the next 3 weeks with 3 more storylines. And the last episodes is the one where something happened, because this is where everything was introduced. No, sorry, where the storyline was concluded. And now next week we'll begin a new storyline. So then it will be a new introduction. And the episode after that will be more can we trust him or her, with basically nothing happening, only conversation. And the final one is going to be some more action again.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was
so it's
basically
like a bad dating life.
It was, it was the Ocean's 11 robbery thing. I mean, maybe I'm getting old and cynical. At some point, the robberies and stuff in institutions is going to end. It's such a horrible story.
Well, it's lacking the cleverness of what a good heist movie should have. This did not have anything clever about it at all. It was very, very bludgeoned.
Very plain, but paint by numbers.
Yep. Nothing fun with it. Nothing. There's no subterfuge. No humiliation of the people you're stealing from.
True.
Nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. There wasn't anyone who went.
Yeah, there wasn't any of that.
What would have been really amazing is if everyone on that Imperial base was helping achieve this outcome, except for the engineer that was touring.
That would have been funny. That would have been
brilliant, because they're all playing a role. They're all shooting at each other, and the only one who's able to report that there's no betrayal from inside the Empire, which they're all really rebels, is the engineer that was visiting that day for the ceremony.
I did see some movie, I can't remember what it was, a long time ago, where there was a giant confrontation, and it turned out that every single person was an infiltrator from another government agency. like all 10 people infiltrating some kind of Soviet thing or mafia thing or something, and they went, "Oh, you're from the FBI and yeah, and you're from MI5, right?" They were all good guys.
They were all setting each other up, and they had no idea that it was all that they fell from each other's stings. Yeah, the FBI did that recently a couple times. But one of my biggest issues with Andor, aside from all that stuff, is at the very end, there's this scene between 2 of the survivors of the heist.
Yeah.
And one is trying to tempt the other into just taking the money and run, but we don't know if this is actually a legitimate type of temptation or if he's trying to test to see the loyalty of the other guy.
I thought he was just talking.
Yeah, I thought he was just talking and trying to test, oh, Andor, are you really with us, or are you just doing this for the money, and are you tempted enough just to steal it and go after everyone who's died? And instead of probing that to see if it's legit, he just shoots him.
Yeah, how dare you suggest taking more of the money? What?
What just happened?
Is this supposed to be the protagonist of the show now?
Yeah, I'm feeling way better for him. And then he goes in and gets all soft on the woman that when he's on the inside.
Yeah.
Or who was he talking to?
Yeah, it was Vel.
He gets soft on Vel because, I mean, again, most of them didn't make it. And then I mean, the makeup for the alien surgeon was all right. That kind of piqued my interest a little bit. The four-hand guy looked a little more Men in Black than Star Wars, but I dug
it. You're right. Not so much Cantina.
I think they could have had that character around a little bit more. He was the most interesting character maybe on the show outside of the main group. So to lose him so soon and then to kind of like pass Andor this book, which he would just throw away. He wouldn't keep the book. There's no reason for him to keep it.
You mean the guy who was like Mouse from Matrix?
Yes, that guy. So, he seemed to have a lot of knowledge and he was imparting that. And one thing that they have done that I like is that Andor hasn't been like overly confident that he's going to join the cause. He's like, F this, I'm out of here. I got my money. I don't even want to see you people anymore. Don't call me. He just wants to go on with his life. He's not convinced of this cause. And I hope he stays that way for a long time because I don't want to see him suddenly become on their side, willingly. I want this to be completely, something that he unfortunately ends up in this position that he has to do it, not because he wants to.
Well, stretching out a refusal to the call is very difficult to do.
Yes.
Especially convincingly, because what you end up doing is you're generating a number of valid reasons for him to delay the inevitable to the point where when it gets to that final choice, he has all of this experience supporting him not doing it as opposed to doing it.
And then he becomes a self-contained mystery box where you're just waiting for him to be the Deus Machina, delivering the moment where, okay, let's do it.
Well, I thought he was looking for his sister and that would trump anything else he wants to do.
Well, it's gone. He hasn't mentioned his sister the last 3 episodes.
Yes. Isn't it funny? That's the thing that he risks his life for in the beginning and killed 2 people. But was the fact that he killed that other team member a mistake?
Yes, obviously one. Because the thing is, the fact of the matter is that a character was killed without the audience being able to understand that this was the inevitable outcome of that situation. We never were given issues to really mistrust that other character. Like his proposition for that felt more in line with everything else that character was doing up until that point, which was he was testing and pushing Andor to see how committed he was to this mission. And it felt like, he's just doing that again. And Andor's like, no, he didn't recognize the test. He didn't prove himself. So he's like, I'm just going to kill you. And he did.
Was strange. I came out of nowhere.
That's technically killing a heroic character and an innocent man over him doing his due diligence to ensure the safety, most likely to ensure the safety of his people that have survived this heist. It's horrible. It's evil. He's not a good character. It's very, very Gilroy-esque. Like, buck the trend for the sake.
I'm wondering why they didn't just end the series at this point, after the heist and then, season 2 or something like that. Now that he's got the money, is there more of a story here?
We don't know what the point of the show is. Still,
none. There's 0 point to this show.
Yeah.
Like, all we know is that it was a heist for money, and I'm guessing we have to speculate that money stolen is to fund the Rebel Alliance cells. And Culture, what have you say to that?
No, I'm going to say you guys are all on the right path about there's not any point so far other than to replace Han Solo, because this is one Solo, in my opinion. You're trying to do the whole Rogue story that you did with Han Solo, just in a more dramatic, drawn out way. That's just my opinion, but I had 0 interest in this show from the very beginning, not because I don't think Diego Luna is a talented actor, but that's not besides the point. It is exactly as Andre describes. There is a filler episode in every single one of these 3-part series. This is a story in 3 parts divided into 3s itself.